I thought spending a night in a mall would be fun. Just a stupid viral idea, honestly. 24 hours in a mall. I'd get views, maybe some brand deals, and probably a bunch of comments calling me crazy. I didn't expect things to get weird. I definitely didn't expect to find a rule book, and I sure as hell didn't expect it to be written in what looked like blood. It started pretty simple. I slipped into the back bathroom near the service corridor of Mall Sector 7B right before closing. No one saw me. This place is old, one of those half-forgotten shopping centers with flickering neon and echoing tile. Barely any foot traffic. Most stores are empty, except for a few discount chains and a sad little food court. I thought, if anywhere's going to be easy to hide in overnight, it's here. The hours crawled by. I scrolled through my phone, filmed some B-roll for the vlog. Nothing exciting. Around 11:10 p.m., the lights went out. Not a gradual fade, but a hard, echoing click. Just like that, the mall was dark. I peeked out from the bathroom. The corridors were empty, shadows stretching everywhere. That's when I heard it. The intercom buzzed to life, crackling from every corner, except there was no one around to turn it on. All employees must follow the rules. Violation will result in removal. My heart stopped. I stood frozen in the bathroom doorway, barely breathing. The voice was flat, mechanical, but somehow knowing. I tried to laugh it off. Some old automated message, I thought. Maybe a security guy somewhere messing around. I kept filming, trying to pretend I wasn't freaked out. Midnight rolled around. I decided to explore. Every store gate was shut tight. The food court was deserted. The smell of old fries thick in the air. My sneakers squeaked on the tiles. I passed the old Sears, shuttered for years, its windows blacked out. That's when I saw it, lying on the ground just outside the entrance. A worn, black leather notebook, as if someone had dropped it while running. Curiosity got the better of me. I picked it up. The front was cracked, the words almost rubbed away, but I could read them. Rules for living in the mall, Sector 7B. I flipped it open. Inside, the rules were scribbled in jagged red ink, thick and smeared, like it had been written in a hurry, or with something other than a pen. Rule number 1, never look directly at the mannequins. Rule number 2, if the intercom speaks your name, don't answer. Rule number 3, don't go up to the 3rd floor. It doesn't exist. Rule number 4, if you hear carts moving on their own, hide. Rule number 5, at 3:13 a.m., you will hear footsteps. Do not run. I read them again, slower. This wasn't some kid's game. The leather was old, the pages yellowed. It felt heavy in my hands. I actually laughed out loud, trying to convince myself it was all a prank. A weird viral marketing gimmick. Maybe an ARG. I mean, come on. Never look at the mannequins. I could see one in the window across from me, draped in last season's fashion, dappled in dust. But then the intercom clicked on again. Tyler. My name, my actual name, clear as day. We see you. I nearly dropped the notebook. I hadn't told anyone I was doing this. I hadn't even posted anything yet. Cold sweat trickled down my back. The voice was still flat, but it felt closer, like it was right behind me. That's when I heard it. Creaking, metal on tile, wheels, the sound of a shopping cart moving by itself down the corridor ahead. I couldn't see it yet, but the noise was unmistakable, one wheel wobbly, scraping in a broken rhythm. I turned to run, book still clutched in my hand, and froze. There, in the middle of the mall's central hallway, was one of the mannequins from earlier. I know it hadn't been there before. It was standing in a different spot, halfway out of the shadows. Its head had turned, ever so slightly, and now it was facing me. No eyes, just blank plastic, but I could feel its attention. I took a step back. The mannequin stayed still, but for a split second I could have sworn its hand twitched. The sound of the cart grew louder. I spun around, searching for somewhere to hide, and my foot slipped. The notebook tumbled from my hands, sliding across the tiles. The mall lights flickered, buzzing overhead, then blinked out completely. I was plunged into darkness, the only sound the distant roll of wheels and my own ragged breathing. Then, just above a whisper, the intercom came on one last time. Rule broken. The words hung in the air, colder than the night outside. I fumbled for my phone, but the screen stayed black, refusing to turn on. The darkness pressed in, thick and suffocating. I could hear the mannequin moving now. Soft, deliberate shuffles, closer and closer. I tried to remember the rules. Don't look at the mannequins. Don't answer the intercom. Don't run from the footsteps. But what do you do when you know you've already made a mistake? I pressed myself against the wall, heart pounding so loud I was sure they could hear it. I dared to crack my eyes open, and in the faint emergency glow, I saw the notebook, open, pages fluttering as if being turned by invisible hands. The red writing shimmered in the dark, and for a moment I thought I saw another line being added, fresh and glistening. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. The air tasted like dust and rust and old secrets. Somewhere, the cart crashed to a stop. Silence. Then slow, dragging footsteps began. Far away, but moving closer, echoing off the tile. I didn't know what would happen next. All I knew was I was trapped, and the only thing I had left was the rulebook, to be continued. You're still watching EerieTales. Like, subscribe. The next rule might save your life. I ran, heart thudding, hands slick with sweat, back toward the bathroom where I started. But the hallway was wrong. It shouldn't have been this long. The sharp, familiar scent of cinnamon pretzels and new shoes faded, replaced by something musty and cold, like old stone or untouched basements. Storefronts on either side glimmered with unfamiliar neon, their windows displaying mannequins dressed in clothes I'd never seen, beneath the signs in languages I couldn't read. As my footsteps echoed, the shadows seemed to deepen, stretching like grasping fingers. I glanced over my shoulder, pulse hammering, and saw it. The mannequin, the same one from before, not moving exactly, no walking, no shuffling, just gone if I looked away, and then back, closer. Its porcelain face was turned toward me, expressionless, with one hand raised as though to wave or beckon. I picked up the pace, ducking past a shop that sold only umbrellas with impossible fractal patterns. My breath fogged in the air, though it wasn't cold. The PA crackled overhead, that same disembodied voice hissing a warning. Violation detected. Violation detected. My phone was dead. The clock on a wall said 2:37 a.m., but when I blinked, the hand spun forward. 2:45, then 2:50. I stumbled and nearly tripped over something on the ground, a battered spiral notebook, the one from earlier. Now it was open to a fresh page, the ink fresh and a little smeared. Rule number 6, if you return the book, they might let you go. Rule number 7, if you reach the elevator, don't press 3. There is no 3rd floor. My hand shook as I read it. My mind raced. Was this some kind of joke, a warning, or a trap? I tried to remember how I'd gotten here, but the memories slipped away, like water through my fingers. But I was desperate. The mannequin was closer now, just behind a pillar. I could feel it, even when I didn't look. I bolted toward the nearest exit sign, only to find myself at the elevator. The doors opened, almost invitingly. I stepped inside, clutching the notebook. The panel was scratched and old, but the 3 buttons shone, impossibly bright. I hesitated. But what if it was a code? What if pressing 3 was the way out, the only way? Rules or not, I needed to try. I pressed 3. The elevator groaned, a deep, metallic wail, like an animal in pain. The lights flickered, then went out. In the darkness, I could hear faint whispers, like a dozen people talking at once, words overlapping and tumbling over one another. My own breath was loud in my ears. Then with a sharp jolt, the lights came back on. The door slid open. Floor 3. But it wasn't like any floor I'd seen before. I stepped out into silence. The food court should have been bustling, filled with the hum of vending machines and the scent of stale fries. Instead, it was empty. No tables, no chairs. Just darkness, broken by the faint glow of a fountain in the center. I walked closer. The fountain wasn't running. No water, just a wide, shallow basin. And in the middle of it, propped on a pedestal, was a mirror. I stared at my reflection, my face, pale and tense, eyes wide with terror. But then, my reflection blinked. I didn't. My jaw clenched, every muscle tensed. My reflection smiled, slow and cold. A hush fell over the food court. I turned, and all around me, in a perfect circle, stood the mannequins. Dozens of them, maybe more. Their faces were smooth and blank, arms outstretched as if welcoming me into their circle. Their shadows twisted behind them, impossibly long. And then, at the edge of the circle, one mannequin was different. It wore my clothes, had my face, my hair, my tired eyes, my nervous, trembling hands. My mind screamed at me to run. Somewhere in the back of my mind, I remembered the notebook and a new rule scribbled hastily in the margin. Rule number 8, if you see yourself, run. But I was frozen. My feet wouldn't move. My throat was raw, but no sound came out. My double stepped forward, moving just like me. Its lips parted, and my own voice echoed back. You broke the rules, I get to stay. The mannequins closed in, the world flickered, the shadows pressed in, and everything went black. The darkness lifted slowly, like a curtain. There was a new voice now, bright, excited, a little breathless. Let's try staying overnight in a mall. Sector 7B still open. A new person, holding a camera, laughter bubbling in their throat. They panned the lens over the endless corridors, the flickering lights, the empty stores. Their footsteps echoed, just like mine had. On the floor, they found the same battered notebook. They picked it up, flipping through the pages, curiosity turning to unease. They didn't notice, at first, the mannequin standing in the center of the food court. Its face was familiar, too familiar. Pale plastic, painted eyes, a faint, almost imperceptible movement beneath the surface, like it was breathing. The mannequin's lips were parted, as if ready to whisper a warning, but the new visitor only laughed, unaware of the rules, unaware of the dangers lurking in the spaces between the stores and the shadows that stretched just a little too far. Because the mall never closed, we just stopped noticing. The mannequins wait, patient and silent, for the next visitor to break the rules, for the next story to begin, again and again, long after the lights go out and the escalators stop. And deep inside, beneath the flickering lights and behind the glassy eyes, the mall remembers every step, every broken rule, every face, even yours, especially yours. So next time you walk past a darkened storefront after hours, or glimpse your own reflection in a place you shouldn't, remember, the rules are there for a reason, and sometimes the price of breaking them is more than you could ever imagine.